Hello everyone, this is Express Collector. Welcome back to another video. Today I'm doing something a little bit different. Now, as many of you know, I like Thomas & Friends. I'm a Thomas & Friends collector. And, there have been times where I'll build out a layout, build out a set, and I want to add more detail to it. We can talk about scenery, we can talk about buildings, but something that doesn't really get talked about is just other forms of transportation to make it look like it's a world that's being lived in. So I thought to myself, if I'm trying to find, let's say, like a car to go along with all my trains, what line of cars should I look into? Now, the easiest answer for me to give you all is 1/64th scale. For reference, here's our brand new 2026 Thomas & Friends motorized Gordon. If I wanted to get a car that's roughly in scale with a train, 1/64th scale gives you the best chance at that. And that's not just with this style of engine back here. It's also with Tomy, it's also with Trackmaster, it's also with, Thomas Motorized from All Engines Go, Thomas Motorized from before that, as in the Trackmaster Evolution. It even works with the 80th anniversary. Now, usually when it comes to buying 1/64th scale, there's two pretty big brands. There is the obvious one being Hot Wheels, and the slightly less obvious one being Matchbox. This is one of their cars that comes in a box. Now, you're probably wondering, what does any of this have to do with trains? It's the scaling. So, for example, we're going to start with this Hot Wheels car. I try to pick era-appropriate cars for this video. So this is a Ford GT40 from around 1966. So this is, like, let's say, preservation era Sodor, if you will. So I've just cracked it open behind the camera here. So here it is. I'm going to move the camera over a little bit. It's a nice looking car. And this was a race car, so it's a little bit, it's not quite a street car, even though it looks to have mirrors. But I'm going to put him right next to my Tomy Gordon. If he doesn't roll away. Don't roll away, I'm going to put you right next to Gordon. Scale-wise, that doesn't look half bad. And it's because my camera's angled that it looks strange, but there you have the car to train scale, which I think is pretty realistic, at least if you ask me. And that's one line of car that you can get. Here. Now, what if you wanted something that's not quite as flashy? If you wanted something that's a little more standard that you'll find roaming the Sodor streets, for that you could go with a Matchbox car. For example, I have this 1940s Dodge pickup, which isn't quite Sodorian, but we'll make do with what we have. Crack that one open. And that one looks like this. We're going to put that right next to Gordon. Stay. There we go. Scale-wise, don't roll away. There's a comparison. That looks pretty nice, I dare say. But here's the thing. What if I told you there's an even better line of toy cars that can pair perfectly with your toy trains? And it doesn't cost that much more. Now, this model right here is about $1.25. It's about $1.25. Matchbox makes a line that is known as the moving parts line. For those of you who don't know, it's essentially its own line of cars in the same scale that have a part that moves. And I have one right here to show you guys. This is a 1969 Triumph Spitfire. One of a classic British sports car. As you can see from the picture, the hood moves, as it would on the real car. Now, let me get this out of the package. Now, this is one that I have had for a while, but I've been waiting to open specifically for this video. So we're gonna take it out of the box here. Now, these ones are different because you have to open it from the side, and then you pull out this little insert here, and you have to push the car out from the back of the package. Now, it's rolling away because these roll pretty easily, but stay. Don't run away. There we go. But as you can see, Like, that's just, oh, that's a really nice little car. I'm gonna try to move myself out of the way because of the lighting, but it's got nice paintwork in British Racing green. It's got red seats, and if I'm doing this right, it's kind of tough to do this with one hand, I'll admit. So I'm gonna put this down. Try to do this with two for the sake of the video. And look at that. You got a whole engine detail inside. So if I park it, it looks like that. So let's say you have a passenger or an important dignitary who's driving to an event and their car breaks down, you can just prop them up like that. Hold. You prop them up like that on the side of the tracks, your train can come up to them and you've got a story there. Now, one of the things, I forgot how I was going to phrase this, but I'll try to phrase it as best as possible. I'm going to put them right there so you can see the size comparison between Gordon and this car. So, if you ask me, if you are a collector of Thomas & Friends materials and you want to get a couple of prop cars to go along with your trains, I highly, highly recommend this Matchbox moving parts line to you. Because Matchbox originally is a European company, which means they're going to make more European cars, which means you'll get gems like this. Wait a minute, I'll do it like this. You get gems like that throughout the year. They do make cars from other time periods as well. Let's say you're more of a modern day preservation era railway kind of controller, you could get yourself something like this. Let me put it down because I'm blocking the camera. You can get yourself a modern Porsche if you really wanted to. If you have a particular time period in which your series takes place, well, they've got something for it. If you're a railway, for example, I'm gonna bring out two more cars just to kind of get at a point here. If your railway is more industrial and you want something that's in all black, they've got something for you. For example, this pickup truck I'm gonna put up here. And let's say you want your railway series to take place in America in the 1970s in the world of Smokey and the Bandit. They've got you covered as well. But the point that I'm trying to get at here is, if you're looking for a toy car to accompany your toy trains, that's the line that I would recommend, in my own humble opinion. Now, cost-wise, these cars, you're mostly going to find at your local Target stores, at least if you're in the US. I'm in the US, hence why I'm using US logic for this. You'll find in your local Target stores for about $3. But every time you look at the price, I want you to think about this. Can your regular toy car do something like that? Does it have that level of detail? And does it look like something that people would actually drive in the era of Thomas? But yeah, this video has gone on for actually a lot longer than I was expecting it to. But yeah, thank you all for tuning into this video. I know it's not the usual kind of Express Collector content. But alas, you know, I felt this is something I really wanted to get out there into the world. So there we have it. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.